Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, I know we said we were going to focus on the title race on camera this year, but we're going to have to change our attentions because the top two look like they're going to be the top two again. So we've got to focus on the cups and winning trophies. But what's the problem with that? Oh yeah, we've drawn the top two in those two competitions. Well, with the top two doing what they do best in Northern Ireland, it looks like we might have to turn our attention to the cups if we want to win a trophy this year. The problem with that is we face the top two today in both of those competitions. There is one little bit of solace though, and that is an absolute gem of a signing. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 84 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back at the top of the Northern Irish Premiership, but it's not quite as good as it looks. We've got Larne and Linfield both able to overtake if they win their games in hand, and Glentoran are just 2 points behind as well. And if you look at the goal differences, we are really struggling on that front this year. We have also got a fair bit of misfortune in the cups this year because we face both Larne and Linfield in our next two matches, both in the early stages of cup competitions. But we have got a super signing to introduce, which I'm really excited about. So if you're looking forward to meeting him and seeing how we get on in these two big games, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Of course, it has been a pretty good start to the season in some respects because aside from the away games against the big two, we haven't slipped up at all. And for me, that is going to be the crucial thing this year. Can we avoid any slip-ups and then maybe compete for the title? That's going to be the big question. We have a look at the schedule first to see how we've been getting on. We have been largely very good since you were last here. Good defensively, scoring enough goals, but crucially, we lost the big game. And just like Linfield in the last episode, they're the games that are going to cost us the title as it stands. So of course you were last with me for that game against Linfield and of course deadline day as well. Since then, largely a sea of green. A 2-0 win in extra time against Ballymacash Rangers. David Aitken came off the bench and scored both in extra time. Against Ballyclare, he got another 2. This time he started the game. He'd earned it after coming off the bench and doing well in the last game. And Ben Parry also added his first for the club as well. 2-0 win at home to Ballymena. Kean and Rui Hartman getting a crucial goal. But then it all went wrong at Larne. We played really well first half, but let's look at who scored. Andrew Marshall, the big summer signing on $5,000 a week. Simmons, the first £1 million player in this league. And then 2 of the stars in the second half as well. Neil Kane had a bit of a stinker. We missed a couple of good chances. It just wasn't our day. But look at the Larne crowd without much away support. Really is improved from what we'd had recently. So that is a positive sign for the nation. If we go to Dungannon next, we won 1-0 and it was a really good result. Morgan Griffiths put us ahead. We were dominating the match. But then Sean Daniels got sent off for a silly challenge second half. McElhatton missed a penalty. But we still clung on and we looked comfortable in doing so. Neil Kane made one worldy save at the end, but overall we were thoroughly dominant. A 2-1 win at home to Portadown with a Rui Hartman brace, followed by a 2-0 win at home to Crusaders in which he scored again, followed by a Jonathan McElhatton goal off the bench. And in the same score away at Glenarvan, Hartman with 2 again. He is really starting to get going and look like the striker we need. So that's been the one positive I would say in recent weeks. Now they're up to speed and settled in. Akumu, Hartman and Parry are really starting to contribute significantly. But you will recognise another new name on the bench in this last match. Jamie Williams came on. He popped up in that recruitment focus we'd set. You know, the 15 to 20-year-olds that we were looking for. He is a gem. I mean, whoever found him deserves credit. David Jeffrey, director of football, doing the job yet again because Jamie Williams is stunning. He is the best left back at the club at 18 years of age, on only £160 a week for a 3-year deal, 5-star potential, great resilient personality, he's brave, he's good physically, good in a tackle, great positioning. I mean, he's not even that bad going forward, he has got the lot. A bit similar to the Morgan Griffiths one, we're getting really good young players out of Wales, We found another one we'd like to get, but I don't think we can at the minute. And Jamie Williams is a superstar. From the Spurs Academy, Morgan Griffiths came from Everton. And it looks like they're on the same trajectory because he is a super player. I have got to show you, though, the other one that we saw because, I mean, he is a proper gem. We'll see if we can go and find him very quickly. Here he is. Neil Daly. We're scouting the Welsh Premier League because we've had success there. He's at Cardiff Met Uni on an amateur contract. And at the moment, he won't join us because we're not professional. But look at him. If we can turn pro next summer, he's still there and we can nick him, we're going places. And I mean that big time. What a midfielder, and play centre mid or number 10. We have got to find a way to get that guy into the club. He's even got the professional personality. He is really ready to go. So that's my next summer target. I'm desperately hoping we can get him next year. But at the moment, doesn't want to join the club. He's dubious. So maybe it's going to take getting into Europe, going pro, something else very big. But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to pull that off at the minute. Because for now, although we are top of the league, Larne and Linfield both have the chance to go top. The only promising sign is that they haven't played each other yet, which might be a big bit of news for us. Linfield have got a 100% record though, and crucially, both sides have won their first group stage match in Europe. They've got pretty friendly draws this year, unlike what Linfield had in last year's Europa League. I've got a feeling they both might get through. If not, the coefficient is still going to be one of the biggest we've ever seen. So a big year for Northern Ireland with us getting 4 wins in qualifying as well. Just Glentoran that let the side down, but they're getting there slowly. For us though now, we've got to turn our attention to 2 cup games because Linfield and Larne are not the easiest ties, but we have got an opportunity to do well. If we can get through one or both of them, we've taken out the best side in the competitions, and maybe then we'll be able to get to the next level. But Linfield, because these games have fallen in an international break, have not got many fixtures. You can see we're knackered from the weekend, but the league is our priority. So anyone who's fit, we can think about playing. In truth, this is probably going to be a rotated side. We're going to have to hope we get a better draw in the Irish Cup than these two, but I'm not taking gambles at this point. League action is still the most important. If we can break into that top 2, you never know what the future holds. We've got a big squad now though. Let's go and make our changes. Well, here is the squad then, and we've been rotating a bit in recent league games. We've had 2 a week, which we don't normally get at this stage of the season. I'm hoping it'll mean a quieter December and January, but I'm sure it won't. Maybe if we go out of the cups, it'll be a blessing in disguise for the league. We've got the likes of Bell, Burns, Kean, Goss the centre-half, Robinson has played nearly every game, Parry and Akumu all out the squad, Hartman dropped to the bench, as is Mpardi, who's been playing regularly. We've basically had the situation where Whitehall's been out injured for a few weeks, Daniels had a suspension for his red card tackle and then for an accumulation of yellows. So we've not actually put out our first choice midfield in weeks. Whitehall will try and give 45 or an hour today. Barry Bagley or McCann will have to come on for him. The only real regulars that are in there is Varma, who's coming back in. I've dropped him for Parry due to his poor form recently. And Morgan Griffiths, who is a little tired, but apparently he's got a very low injury risk, so he's someone we can work with. It's going to be a first start for Williams at left back, a return to last year's first choice centre halves. To be fair, it is mostly last year's team, isn't it? I'm actually looking at the team here and thinking, if it wasn't for Bell at left back, that would be last year's first choice team, wouldn't it? Maybe Mpardi for Puarte. But that shows you how far we've come. We are resting 7 or 8 today. So let's go and see how it competes with Linfield. It's a tough game and they're going to be at full strength. So let's see how we get on. Into the first game we go. Got a feeling we might be out the League Cup tonight. Well, I take it back a little bit actually, because regulars such as McGuckin, Ravenhill and McClelland are among 5 changes for Linfield. They've also dropped out their first choice goalkeeper. But if you look at their squad compared to ours, they're still bringing in a player who cost them 300 grand, both at left back and on the right wing. They've got Mackie and Ferrisage who cause chaos in the league game, and Jones is an international centre-half. So it's not going to be an easy match, but we've got a good team out. I'm interested to see how Williams gets on. For most of them, they've been poor for 4 or 5 games until they've got settled in. But great to see a few players back from injury and suspension, and hopefully some others like Varma might return to form today. Into the first half, it's our first home game against one of the big 2 this year, and although we've rotated the squad a bit, I want to see if this tactic works. Can we take the game to them when we're at our own ground? The benefit of drawing Linfield in the cup early, of course, big crowd in, gives us an opportunity to raise some revenue, albeit I'd like it after a few rounds of prize money. But here is Williams, the new boy on the left, just 2 minutes in. Back to Harley Jones and Daniels. He looks up to Griffiths. Good turn. Surely fouled there. Tries to release McElhatton. Referee apparently signalling an advantage, even though the ball was lost. But so do Linfield, and Varma gets in. Deflects through to the keeper. I'm hoping we'll get a response from him because he's basically been assured of a first team place since he's been here. Now he's going to have to really work for it with Parry. So hopefully after those poor games, he'll come back with a vengeance now. 2 games in a row he spent on the bench as Wilson comes down the right. Goes back to Cooper. Got time in centre midfield to Daniels. We're not really pushing it forward quickly, but we're doing okay here. As Daniels releases Griffiths, turns on the ball. He's the only one I'm worried about fatigue with, but he finds Jones well there. And Williams to Daniels to Griffiths. Much better start. And just as I say that, commentator curse, Griffiths loses it. And it's away to Bain. Over the top to Ferrisage. We know what he can do. Gets down the left. He's got 2 in the middle. Looks for the cross. First chance. Will it be a first goal for Linfield? Back to Pingo. Into the box. There you go. 3 minutes of dominance from us. Lose the ball. And Linfield hit you on the counter. A good start followed by a disaster. 1-0 to the visitors. As we're back with a Linfield goal kick. Long downfield towards Mackie. Wins the header for Bain here. This side's just too good, isn't it? As Williams gets it away to McElhatton. Griffiths can release Puarte. He took too long. Gets through again. What is happening to Morgan Griffiths? I know he's got a heavy match load, but surely picking out passes is his easiest part of his game. That's the bit that you don't need the energy for. What he's trying to do is hold on to it too long. Is it affecting his decision making? Well, it's costing us the game, isn't it? Wilson unlucky not to give away a penalty. And then Daniels, well, there were more than a few doubts about that decision, sums it up. Mackie steps up left-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. They're just too good. And it is the one thing I will say in this tactic this year. We're creating more, we're scoring more, we're winning more games by more than a goal. But we are also conceding chances, and the top 2 sides are taking advantage of that. So maybe looking forward in the league games, particularly at home, we're going to have to play balanced against Linfield and Larne, and then the rest we stay positive as Puarte shoots over. It's not a massive goal threat, is it? But with 20 minutes gone, we're in the game. We've just lost out to 2 minutes of quality, and they've taken their chances. Well, this is going to be another one, isn't it? We've dominated for another 10. Now Linfield have a free kick, curled by Ferrisage just over the bar. We've encouraged them. They're confident. They're playing well. We've had 70% of the ball too. And we're creating chances, just not glorious ones, as Jones finds Cooper. Here's my worry as well with Hartman coming in. Will McElhatton drop off the boil? Varma again is having a stinker of a game, and that ball isn't going to help his cause as Griffiths loses out in the middle. Another problem for him. Maybe we shouldn't have started him. We've got McCann on the bench. We've got Lewis Scott. We can bring them on if need be, as that's in for 3, and it's tie over. All of this talk in the comments all year about being more positive. There are problems with it because look at Linfield pick us off on the counter. We have not got the defensive strength for it. Pingo has curled one just over. I'm going to drop to balance now because it's tie over and we need to save the confidence. But this season is going to come down to one thing. Can we be consistent against the other 9 teams, win virtually every single game? And then if we do, will that be enough? Will Linfield drop enough points? I don't know. We're going to say we've not been good enough. We will make some changes. I'm not really sure what to go for because Farmer's let me down again. I'll bring on Lewis Scott for him. I'll go McCann for Griffiths in the number 10. Bagley will come on for Archie Whitehall, who was just building his fitness. Hartman for Mickelhatton is a consideration, but let's be fair, he's not had any service. So I'm going to bring Bobby Harvey on for Jake Cooper at the back, I think. No, I'll leave it 10 more. Let's go and get through to the second half. Let's make sure we don't concede anymore. Well, if you look at the stats now, it is all infield as we hit the hour mark, and we are going to make the last changes. I'm not going to bring Hartman on because I want to rest the first teamers. So Harvey and Kennedy will come on. Williams builds his fitness on debut. He didn't play that badly. First start, I should say. Kennedy on for him. We'll then take off Cooper for Harvey. So Wilson centre half, Harvey out to right back. Half an hour to go, 3-0 down. Well, the attention's turning away from the League Cup, isn't it? Let's put it that way. Well, 20 minutes to go as Puarte gives the ball away in the middle. Linfield have made some subs now. They're just starting to rest people too. And this game's fizzling out, but Patterson finds Ferrisage and they still want more. Into Bain in midfield. He brings it through. Scott nicks it well to Daniels. Don't know why he's picking up so many yellow cards this year. Maybe I guess in that deeper midfield role, we're getting caught on the counter, being generally higher up the pitch. But here is Bain in the middle for Linfield. Just under 20 minutes to go. They're dominant, they're making changes, they're resting people, and they're still breaking free with Ferrisage on the left. Good challenge from Harvey, but it's back to Allen. and that's just misfortune. Bobbles up, could have gone anywhere, lands to Charlie Allen's feet, and he smashes it in the top corner on the half volley. No chance Neil Kane. Probably should have played Murphy today because I thought Kane, he's in good form, maybe he can have a worldie and save us, but it's not to be, is it? We're out comfortably. It's another hammering by the top two clubs, and Hatton has now got a knock as well. It's not been a good week. We're certainly going to need to bounce back from this against Larne, because if not, we're going to be out of 2 cups very early in the year. And although it might help us in a title push, it's not going to if we play like this against the big two. Another hammering by Linfield. We just can't deal with them. We'll be back in a minute for Larne in the second cup of today's episode. Well, here we are with a chance to recover against Larne in the Antrim Shield. A chance to stay in a cup. It is the quarter-final stage, but Linfield are still in as well, so it might be tricky to win. But we've got a week off before our next league game now, which is against Glentoran, and I feel we need to go at full strength, so that's exactly what we've done. This, in my opinion, at the moment, is our best in form 11. You could argue that maybe we would have different wingers in if they were in form, and that maybe Robinson is now close to Sean Daniels, but otherwise, we are at full strength. We're not going to risk Williams today, who's just building his fitness up. We want players who are assured and confident at the club. So with that in mind, this is the 11. It is Neil Kane in goal. All change in the back four with Bell, Goss, Kean and Akumu. In midfield, it is Daniels and Whitehall again. Griffiths ahead of them. But an all change front three of Parry, Hartman and Pardy is going to be pushing Distillery on. We're going to drop to balance for this game because we've seen what happens when we play positively against the big two. We're maybe not quite ready for that step yet. And it goes back to what I was saying in the summer episodes. The other two sides at the top are improving more quickly than us now, which is credit to the AI, credit to them using their European money well, both on and off the pitch, because the facilities are getting huge upgrades. But it does mean that we then have our problems because we rely on one of them to have a bad year in the league just to get in that top two. But if we can do it for next season, it would be great. Let's go and get through the cup game first. Can we put down a marker through the tunnel interview into the first half? And please, just don't let it be 4-0 again. Well, here we are 7 minutes in. We've got further than the last game without conceding, which is great. And Hartman's nicked the ball high up there. Beats one man, goes for the shot from distance. It's not great. But at least it's an opportunity. It's showing that we can get on the front foot. And with more space to run into, it seems to be suiting us. The stats are even. We've had a bit less of the ball than we did against Linfield, but we've still got the lion's share. And that is crucial for preserving fitness over the festive period. But creating a few chances against a good side. And against Larne and Linfield, looking at the league games for the rest of the year, if we can find a way to get draws and then be consistent against the rest, we should win it. But that's going to be easier said than done. There's a corner kick here for Distillery. Been a much better first half display. As Daniels has the corner kick to the back post. Goss is up. Can't quite win it. Kean will chase down Brooks, but it's out for another corner. This is what we wanted. A bit of competition. No doubt Linfield have been the stronger of the two so far this season. But Larne are still a good side. They're winning games in Europe. And if we can find a way to beat them, I'll be a very happy man. As Akumu at right back here. Gets it into Goss. Just peters out a bit there. And although we've had no shot on target, we've not really come that close. Neither have Larne. And after the last few games against these big two, that is a real blessing because we've let in, 11 goals in 3. So Brooks comes down the right here. I'm sure now that'll be the curse that leads to the goal. Into McKeon and back to Marshall. Bell knocks it away. Marshall into Simmons, the big money signing. Back to McInroy. Simmons again. Great football from Larne to Collier. And Brooks shot the flex. That's out for a corner. We're holding on. We're keeping our shape. We look a lot more resolute defensively with that back four, playing a little bit deeper, not by choice, but purely by game mentality. But then we concede the crap goal from the corner kick. In at the front post, we miss the header, and we don't mark very well. 1-0 to Larne, simple as that, and all the hard work has been undone. Well, at half-time, that is the costly moment. It's been one of only a couple of shots on target, and again, although we're not having as much pressure on our goal, we've not got the same attacking threat as we have when we're positive. But we've started the half well in terms of the match stats. Can we deliver now in terms of chances? Because we've not seen anything of us going forward since the start. As Kane picks the ball up, free kick on the edge of his own box. Gives it to Curtis Bell at left back and Daniels into Whitehall. Again, got to be careful with him as he builds fitness, but that's a great ball. Hartman tries to dink the keeper. And it takes a little deflection on its way. Not the best that. Probably should have done better with it. And with 65 gone, we're going to look at changes, but there was a highlight on the way. So we'll just see that out first. Again, not much from the front men because there's not a lot of service. And at the back, we're starting to run out of legs as Collier. Is a big league game next up as well, away at Glentoran, who are probably the fourth best now, as Daniels wins the ball back again. Finds Bell. Big punt over the top is aimless and is really poor. I'm not happy about that, as Gallagher gets the ball left to McKiernan. He's one of the experienced signings from the summer, Gallagher, and he's doing well there. Finds Smutek, who was a free agent deal, back to Jordan. Long go long over the top. Simmons gets there. Goss misses his header. It's a good save from Neil Kane, but it's definitely an ominous sign. They're just too good for us, this top two. And as long as we're not professional, and as long as we're not in European group stage football, we ain't got the money to catch them. Another header at the near post we've lost. The man-to-man marking, not quite the same here. We're doing our best. It's still 1-0. We're still in it. Let's bring on McElhatton for Hartman. Let's bring on Varma for Ben Parry. And then looking further back, maybe we bring on Williams to build his fitness up again at left back. And I'll take off Whitehall, who again, just his second start back for Robinson. We'll save one more in case of injury or something, and then we'll chase the game late on if need be. As Simmons picks the ball up in the middle. Goes left to Gallagher, just too good. McKiernan on the front foot here. Larne looked great as Akumu wins it for Robinson. Daniels clears downfield. McElhatton picks it up. Poor first touch. Smutek's on it. They're just so energetic. The professional fitness is showing as Marshall gets in, deflects to Williams, and he clears it off the line. Good work from him to McElhatton. And with 15 to go, I've got to make the last change. It'll be Mpardi off for Puarte. Again, first choice winger. Started the season electric, but has dropped off now. Let's encourage them. Let's chase it. We'll go positive after this corner as Daniels delivers it. In swinging delivery, it will be to the back post to Kean. Headed away. We've not got the aerial threat here now as Griffiths. Great effort just over the bar. Let's see what difference it makes for the last 10 because Simmons comes forward. Griffiths nicks it for Williams. Larne, you would imagine, have dropped back a little now. But Williams holds the ball up and gets caught, but Goss recovers. Finds Daniels to Robinson. Back to Kean again. Look how high their front five are there. Akumu into Griffiths though. We've broken through. Puarte got a score. Gets in. Oh, it's saved and it's off the line. How did McElhatton not put the rebound in? Williams wins it back. We're on an onslaught here. Farmer's challenged. It goes out for a throw. And with 5 to go, that was the chance. If you look at the stats overall, it's been a much better display, a much closer game. Maybe at home that's the way forward, but for now, it's still a defeat. We're out of both cups. Back in a minute to see when we're going to return. So I think the way we've got to dress this up now is it's a deliberate ploy to allow Larne and Linfield as many games as possible. Keep them distracted from the league and allow us to progress. If we have a look at the schedule to see when we're going to be back, it's still not much better in December, but just the 8 games this time in each month. And to be fair, we play Larne again towards the end of January. We play Larne, Linfield and Linfield again back to back at the start of February. In fact, that whole month with Coleraine and Glentoran is shocking. So over the festive period, I'm looking at December there and saying maybe by the last game away at Coleraine, we should be winning every game if we want to win the title. So we're going to come back towards the end of that. I think we might do Coleraine and Ballymena because then that will set us up well for deadline day and maybe Linfield and Larne straight after. Because if these 2 months go well, that is going to be the decisive period, isn't it? It couldn't be set up much better for the neutral. But as it stands, the league is basically all we can focus on now. Because bar the Irish Cup, which hasn't started yet, we are out of every competition at the hands of the big two. One of those years where the draw has been unlucky. If you did enjoy this one, 2 more defeats against the big two, we're just not quite at the same level, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments if you think we can win the league, and if you want to stay up to date and see how we get on, whether we stay in a title race this year, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Daily episodes from 2 long-term stories, including the head coach, where we had a very frustrating transfer window yesterday. You can find that one up in the eye above, as well as the recent 10-year bookmark, and we'll be back tomorrow with deadline day there too. You can also join me on Twitch, which is up in the eye above, with the football podcast and the blog story too. And check out the HelloFresh link if you're in the US down in the description below. But thank you for watching. Thank you for seeing my suffering at the hands of the big two again. We'll be back next time to try and put them to the sword in a league and build up an unassailable lead at the top of the Northern Irish Premiership.